So now friends, now I'm Pratik Darjavedi or I'm going to explain land revenue policy of British India. So now let's know the little bit information before the land revenue policy. British arrived in 1600. They followed the three type of commercial policy in India: 1600 to 1800, 1800 to 1860, and 1860 to 1946. So these three types of commercial policy Britishers followed. So first policy is basically commercial imperialism, that divided on 1600 to 1765 and 1765 to 1800. Although that's the second one is industrial imperialism, and that is financial imperialism, or we call capitalism also. So this was the commercial policy of British India at that point of time. Where is rubbing guy? Now, in that first commercial imperialism or the capitalism era, British got Diwani right in 1765 after Buxar, British in Bengal. So their primary motto to get Diwani rights and implement their policy was to finance their purchase in India. So first there, and second one, to finance, fight and conquest in India, to finance purchase in India. That means their primary motto to get Diwani rights in Bengal was to help their purchase. In this way, they can maximize their return of investment of these goods in Britain. Why? That point of time, before industrial revolution, India was the place where a lot more handicraft products were produced, which used to sell in European market and in high price. In that way, British India Company was the basically traders. They purchased the article from India, they purchased the things from India, and they sell products in Europe in high price. With this payment system, this finance, they can purchase the article in Indian rupee, and they sell these products in Europe. So don't need to bring money from those area to purchase these products. So that was the primary motto. But to manage this Bengal, they need to also conquest and fight the local. So in that way, they also finance that fight and conquest in India. In this way, these were the two basic motto. But the initial policy of Warren Hastings in 1770 was not that much fruitful. So in that circumstances, Britishers asked George Cornwallis when he came in in 1783-84 institute a strong and sound policy of the land revenue. In that way, Britisher can get a higher payment of that. Or in that reason, they ask their although in that reason they executed that policy, but before that there was a executive John Shore. So based on Warren Hastings' failure, John Shore developed the idea of permanent settlement. So initial cause of getting Diwani rights in these is to finance their purchase in India and finance the fight and conquest in India. In that way, they get Diwani right in 1761-65. Later that 1771, Warren Hastings formalized some policy related to tax collection in land revenue in Bengal region. Unfortunately, that is not stabilized. Just because of that, the tax revenue got deteriorated in later period. So, John Shore symbolized the idea of permanent settlement, which is executed by John Cornwallis. So, the first land revenue policy of British India was permanent settlement. Permanent settlement happened in the Bengal, Odisha, districts of Bengal, districts of Varanasi, and some districts of Madras. So, permanent settlement, 90% of British India in Bengal, Orissa, Bihar, northern district of Madras and Varanasi district. Little part of Assam also, but very little. So that was the area. The area of permanent settlement is developed by John Shore and executed by Lord. Objective behind this idea is source of permanent income, of British India, East India Company, in which they can finance their purchase and conquest the war. And the second one, because of that, they in initial point 1771 to 1780s, John Shore realized there was not a proper system in which they can collect the revenue, or this symbolized their zamindari system in India with British East India, where there used to be a landlord as owner of land, although there in India is not, but they need this type of middle class. So develop a middle class to protect the British interest. So that was the two basic reason, objective, source of permanent income for British India, and the develop a middle class to protect the British interest. So these are the two basic objectives for the permanent settlement. And what was the feature of permanent settlement? So you got the area, objective, and then now features of permanent settlement. Features: revenue was fixed and landlord means zamindar was also fixed. Because zamindar is become an owner of land. What? It's owner of land, and it's a fixed. So that point of time they calculated 10 by 11 of produce, which is fixed. That means landlord need to pay whole amount collected 10 by 11 part of whole collected amount to British India. That's fixed. Approximately in case of 100-acre land, there is a tax is 100 rupees. They need to pay 100 rupees. So that can be that cannot be increased in that. And in case of the owner of land basically fixed, then zamindari is now become a hereditary, and it's a basically that can create confusion role of zamindar. Earlier, zamindar used to be a tax collector, revenue collector in the Mughal Empire. That they not be a owner of the land, but British make them owner of the land. And then in case of tax design, that was abruptly and exorbitant. That means the demand was more than 55 to 60% of the whole produce. In that way, if someone is producing 100 kilogram of the grain, they need to submit approximately 50 to 55 kg of grain to British India. In that way, they are just earning 40% of, they are just getting 40% of their produce. In that way, that is a very abruptly and exorbitant land demand. So that was the basically problem, and that was the feature also. Well, the idea of permanent settlement is also goes around the idea of middle class. So in that way, they also fix the middleman, which used to protect the British interest. And there was a sunset law. That means a particular day, at that particular day, landlord needs to deposit the tax, otherwise land will be forfeited and going to be a resale. So that was the basically design of permanent settlement. Although British also counter this settlement, the idea of that landlord free to develop the area. In that way, they can earn more tax and they can earn more. In this way, area development and agriculture production may increase. But that is basically limited to the British idea. Execution of the policy is not happened in that much. So that was the permanent settlement, or is that exists since till 1954. Now move on. Next one is Rajbari settlement.